do European correspondents collaborate on ECRIN capacity building projects?
The capacity building projects where ECRIN is involved and collaborates are regularly presented to the entire team in one of our regular meetings. And in these meetings, so these projects are presented, introduced, and also what ECRIN is contributing to this project. And although there is usually a project manager associated in these projects that is in the core team, the entire team can contribute. If there is some interest in contributing to these projects, any one of the team can contribute to these projects. So depending of the project, because there is a variety of projects, there is a different kind of collaboration that the European correspondents can have. So for example, if in the project, the objective is to distribute or disseminate a survey, we can collaborate with this. Or for example, if it's to mapping some national, to do a national mapping exercise on a specific topic, we can also collaborate on this. I remember that in a EOSC Live project, we did something like this. Or for example, if in the project there is a tool that is developed under the project, any team member can collaborate to pilot the tool in some point. Or, for example, if ECRIN is contributing in organizing a workshop from a specific trial clinical study design, and if there is a European correspondent that is coordinating one clinical study with this design, it can contribute with their experience or feedback for this workshop. Or even have a more major contribution as task leader of one of these activities. So when ECRIN collaborates in these projects, ECRIN collaborates as a whole, not only as the core team that is in Paris. It collaborates with all the team that is also in the countries. So it's for us, for the European correspondents, it's very easy to collaborate in these projects. And I think it's also help us to stretch as a team. So helps us to feel that we are the same, all in the same team, although we are in the different countries.
How does this support your role as a European correspondent?
The capacity building projects that they can collaborate also reinforce our feeling that we are all part of the same team. But it also helps us to understand different perspectives or different aspects related to investigator-initiated clinical studies. And instead of having only the perspective of our country, we can have a broad perspective. We can understand what happened also in other countries, challenge or solutions or ways to solve some of the problems that we are facing in the operational aspects of the studies. With these projects, we expand our knowledge and in different topics. So, for example, innovative clinical trial designs, European health data space, or secondary use of the data, or personalized medicine. And in some cases, European correspondents also can contribute with their own expertise. So if someone has a lot of experience in teaching and develop training programs, can contribute in the developing of a training program associated to one of these projects. So since in ECRIN we have the European correspondents have different backgrounds and previous experience, we can contribute in different ways with different interests. Behind being a personal enrichment experience, I think, we also can collaborate with different persons, colleagues, in different contexts that we are usually collaborating in the management of the clinical studies. And I think also these participants help us to continuous learning and to improve our role as European correspondent. Lastly, it strengthens the support that we provide to the investigators and the academic sponsors. So, for example, if we may be able to share some experience from our other countries or indicate how similar challenge have been addressed elsewhere, or, for example, point research to projects that have already been explored or given a given topic, and develop some potential solutions or tools that could be applied in their own context.
Can you describe your contributions to ERA for Health?
In ERA partnership, ECRIN contribute to several tasks, and several EuCos contribute to this task, and even some of our scientific partners, so some of these CTUs also contribute to some of these tasks. My personal involvement was specific in tasks related with innovative clinical trial designs. And in particular, I was involved in the task aimed to identify the main challenge associated with the implementation of new trial designs and proposing some practical solutions for that. As part of the work, we did 5 systematic literature reviews covering different innovative trial designs. So we did trials within cohorts, decentralized trials, basket trials, umbrella trials, and adaptive platform trials. The goal was to analyze the challenge that were reported in the literature across the different designs during the entire life cycle of the trial, not only in the beginning, but during the conduction of the trial, and identify potential solutions that mitigate that challenge, and it were also reported in literature. So the findings were first compiled in a very detailed project deliverable, which is publicly available in ERA for Health website and Zenodo and the ECRIN website. And the results, because this is a very extensive document, and we decided that the results were later translated in a set of more practical and user-friendly booklets. And these booklets provide recommendations to planning and conduct these clinical trials using these innovative designs. And we highlight the key considerations. So, for example, the regulatory and ethical aspects, the protocol designs, sponsorship and governance, the trial management, the PPI or data management, or dissemination of results.
What makes these different study methodologies more complicated for researchers?
So traditional clinical trials designs are designed for the drug development, and they usually follows sequentially and quite structured. So randomized clinical trials remains the gold standard to ensure the scientific rigor, and they can be very inflexible. All of us know this, and often evaluate one intervention each time. So these new methodologies, this trial methodology, try to overcome this challenge of the randomized clinical trial design. So a methodology such as adaptive clinical platform trials, basket trials, umbrella trials, trials within cohort, and decentralized clinical trials were developed to address some of these limitations. They allow much more flexibility and enable us to evaluate, for example, multiple interventions, and all of these designs can be much more patient-centered orientated. However, this flexibility core with these designs is also brings additional complexity. So we need to, these designs require much more planning and different approach. So we need to, for example, to have more advanced statistical methods or stronger coordination between different stakeholders involved. And in some cases, or in most of the cases, we were not used to do like this. So we need to create or to train ourselves to doing this, or create new research infrastructures to overcome this challenge. So these booklets were designed to a broad range of stakeholders, so involving the clinical trial research, but not only research. We tried to develop the booklets for sponsors that are planning and managing these clinical trials, for investigators and research teams that are conducting these studies, or for example, for our scientific partners, our CTUs, to give them practical reference when they are setting up these complex designs. And we also try to establish the booklets also to give some assistance to the regulatory and ethical bodies in identifying some gaps associated with current frameworks to be adapted for these clinical trial designs. And because this was developed under the ERA4L partnership, which is composed by funder organizations, we also try to give some recommendations for the funding organizations and the reviewers for developing more appropriate funding mechanisms to support these clinical studies.
Are these study methodologies appropriate for multinational trials?
Yes, some of these methodologies have been already applied successfully in multinational contexts. So some of, in particular disease, for example, some of these are more specific for oncology, but now they are trying to use these designs also in different disease, or for example, in the context of COVID, it was a good example because we applied in different multinational clinical studies the adaptive platform trials, the decentralized trials. So this is already some successful examples of these applications. However, not all the designs are suitable for all the research questions. So the choice of the methodology associated should always be guided by the scientific question, the target population, the logistic, and or the overall of the trial objectives.